Hey everybody, I hope you're having a good week. This is kind of a big loaded question, so I'm going to go ahead and jump right into it. Um, okay, so I was kind of going through Reagan's policy, like his foreign policy a little bit. It looked like he intended to increase the defense spending, and that kind of was a big, huge part, and it kind of seemed like he was more concerned about defending than, actually achieving peace. But, and because of that, he did break with Carter's approach, and, there's no more, appeasing the dictators or pressuring their friends like Israel. And there's a straining of U.S.-Soviet relations because of that, because of his anti-communist nature, and, there was, more aggressive foreign policy. And also, he did have that strong commitment to Israel because of their democratic values, and he seemed to dismiss Camp David and the peace process and the negotiations and everything at the beginning, and but eventually Camp David did kind of ease its way back into his policy again. So the question was, if Jimmy Carter had been reelected, what would U.S. foreign policy towards the Arab-Israeli conflict look like? And the goal of the Camp David Accords in Carter's time would be completed if this would happen. It would be, if not completed, it'd be farther along than it had been, and a lot more farther along than with Reagan kind of pushing it aside for a while. Also, the focus would stay on peace rather than Reagan's approach of power and aggressive foreign policy. And there'd also be better relations with not only the Arab world, but the Soviet Union as well. And then issues would take longer to solve because of the lack of pressure in Reagan's time. So with Carter, it would take a shorter time to actually get through these issues because of the negotiations and the trying to move it towards peace and trying to find solutions, rather than saying, okay, well, we're going to use our power to try to control the situation, rather than trying to come up with a way to solve the issues. And then, negotiations would move forward for the peace treaty, so that would help a lot. And, Reagan's initial framework was kind of hard-hitting towards the Arabs and the Soviet Union with his aggressive foreign policy. And even though he did change his framework later to include the Camp David Accords, and he saw that was kind of important, I do believe it hurt, and that it hurt our relations a little bit with them. As far as some of the things that happened in the Arab world, I don't think that it really affected or would affect it very much, because even after Sadat's assassination, they did stay on the right track towards peace. And as far as Begin staying, it possibly could have, affected it, because he, was stubborn and misrepresentative. That's the word, yeah. And he did misrepresent a lot, and did kind of hinder the peace process a little bit because of that. So if he wouldn't have been prime minister, something else could have happened, and they would be more accepting of moving towards that peace and doing some more negotiating. Also, as far as playing with the domestic issues in the U.S., Begin did kind of toy with American issues, like domestic issues at home, when it came to support for Israel, because, support for Israel for America is kind of a huge thing. So it did seem pretty important, and that obviously affected it a little bit. So I hope my answer all made sense. It was a lot, but I hope you guys have a great week, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.